Zohar, first volume, Introduction to the Book of Zohar. Who created these of Elijah? 11. Rabbi Shimon said, Eliezer, my son, cease talking, and you will discover the concealing of the uppermost secret that the people of the world do not know. Rabbi Eliezer went silent. Rabbi Shimon wept and said, Eliezer, what is ele, these? If you say that as the stars and the signs, are they always visible? And in ma, what? Which is malchut. Were they created? It's written, the heavens were made by the word of the Lord. The heavens were made by malchut, who is the word of the Lord. And if ele was said about hidden things, it should not have written ele, since they are disclosed stars and signs. Explanation. Here, Rabbi Eliezer disclosed the mochin of the first gadlut, and Rabbi Shimon wished to disclose the mochin of the second gadlut, the upper mochin of Chaya. This is why he commanded him to cease his words, so he would reveal to him the hiding of the uppermost secret, which the people of the world do not know. For these mochin were not revealed in the world, and Rabbi Shimon revealed them here. When it was asked, what is ele? Which innovation does the text bring us here? In mi, created ele, which are the zon. If you say that it is the stars and the signs, the mochin devak, the gadlut that they obtained, and that this is what the words "who created these" concern. Since mochin devak are created stars, are called stars and signs. He asked about that. What innovation is it? After all, they are always visible, since they are zon's usual mochin, which can always be extended, even on weekdays. They are not such a great innovation that the words "who created these" will appear on them. Also, we can interpret that these mochin apply constantly, since in permanency, Zeranpin has only the level of vak without a rosh, and only by raising of man are these mochin extended. Rather, the meaning is that they can always be extended, even during the weekdays, since this is how they are drawn each day during the morning prayer. He also asks, with ma were they created? With what? These mochin are not as ascribed to Bina, but to Zon de Atzilut, which are called ma, and from which they came. As is written, by the word of the Lord, who is Zon, where Zeranpin is Havaya, and the Nukva is a word.
התגלה ביום אחד שהייתי על חוף הים. ובא אליהו ואמר לי, רבי, הידעת...
12. However, this secret was revealed only in a single day when I was at the beach, and Elijah came and told me, Rabbi, did you know what is who created these? I told him, it is the heaven and their host, the work of the Creator, which people should observe and bless Him. As it is written, when I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, O Lord, our Lord, how great is your name in all the earth.
13.
13. He told me, Rabbi, there was a hidden thing before the Creator, and he disclosed it in the assembly above. When the more hidden of all that are hidden wished to be revealed, he first made a little point, Malchut, which rose into being a thought, Bina, meaning that Malchut rose and was included in Bina. In it, he formed all the images and carved all the engravings. Explanation. Atik, the first Rosh of the world of Atzilut, is called more hidden of all that are hidden. We learn about it that any leader of a nation who is not corrected first, the people are not corrected. From where do we know that? From Atik Yomin. For as long as he was not corrected in his corrections, all those who need correction were not corrected, and all the worlds were ruined. When Atik, which is more hidden than all that are hidden, wished to be corrected, he corrected everything as male and female. He raised Malchut to Bina, and Malchut became the Nukva and all the Sfirot, where each Sfira consisted of male and female. And this Chokhmah, which is the whole of everything, Chokhmah of the 32 paths, when she came out and illuminated from Atik, she illuminated only in male and female, meaning that Chokhmah spread and elicited Bina out of her. It follows that they are male and female. And this is the correction of Tzimtzum Bet, the second restriction. When the most hidden of all that are hidden wished to be disclosed, he first made a point. That is, when Atik wished to appear in the worlds by the force of the correction in Tzimtzum Bet, he made a single point in Rosh Da'arichanpin in his Chokhmah, raising the Malchut, the point, to Rosh Da'arichanpin, where the Nukva that raises Or Choser was corrected, clothing the 10 Sefirot, the Rosh Arichanpin. And the Rosh Da'arichanpin ended at the Sefira Chokhmah Stima. Thus, Chokhmah was as a male, and Nukva, Bina, and Zon, the Rosh Arichanpin, went outside the Rosh, to the degree of Guf, the Arichanpin. This is the meaning of Chokhmah expanding and ejecting the Bina out of her into being Guf. It was said, this rose into being a thought, which is Bina, this point of Malchut, which rose to Chokhmah, and by which Chokhmah was established as male and female, rose because of it and became a thought, Bina. This is so because she stands in Zivug with Chokhmah, receiving from Chokhmah, and one who receives from Chokhmah is regarded as Bina, not as Malchut. It follows that even though at her root Malchut is but a point, she became Bina because of the ascent. This is why it was said, this rose into being a thought, which caused the point to be Bina, who is called a thought. You should know that sometimes the Zohar calls by the name thought to Chokhmah and sometimes to Bina. This is so because thought means Nukva, the Chokhmah. Hence, she should be called Chokhmah, for she is the Nukva of Chokhmah. However, in and of herself, she is Bina and not Chokhmah. Yet, Bina is called thought only when she is discerned as Rosh, together with the Chokhmah. It was said, in it, he formed all the images and carved all the engravings. This is so because at the point when she rose into being a thought, he pictured and carved all 5 partsufim of Atzilut, Arichanpin, Abba V'Ima, and Zon, formed in her and carved in her, implied to a great matter. Formed in her means that he was emanated by all the images, which are the 5 partsufim of Atzilut. That is, through the zivug that was done on the Masach, at the point that rose into being a thought, the level of Vak, the Or Choser, and Or Yashar, in Kelim of Keter Chokhmah, came out in each partsuf. However, he carved all the engravings in her, a deficiency. So along with the ascent of the point into being a thought, deficiencies and engravings were made, which are preparations for a receptacle over the lights and all the partsufim of Atzilut. And since that matter is the foundation of all the Mochin, the Atzilut, it should be thoroughly clarified. The ascent of the point into being a thought, Bina, is by making a new siyum, a new end, in the 10 Sefirot of each degree. This is so because the point, Malchut, with the Masach on her, which stood for a zivug at the place of Malchut of the 10 Sefirot the Rosh, Peh, and ended the Rosh there, now rose to the place of Bina the Rosh, which is called Nikvei Einayim, Nukva the Chokhmah, which is Bina. Thus, a zivug was made on her Masach at the place of Nikvei Einayim, concluding the Rosh there. And the 3 Sefirot, Bina, Zeranpin, and Malchut of the Rosh, are called Achap, Ozen, Chot, and Peh, descended below the place of Siyum of the Rosh into the degree of Guf. In the 10th Sefirot, the Guf, it was necessarily done likewise. Malchut that ends the Guf, the Partsuf, previously stood at the place of the middle point, Malchut. The Malchut of the 10th Sefirot, the Guf, called Siyum Raglin. Now she rose to the place of Bina, the Guf, Tiferet, since Hagad, the Guf, are Kachab, concluding the Guf at Tiferet, the place of the Chazeh. And those 3 Sefirot, Bina and Zon, the Guf, which are called Tanhim, came out of Atzilut and fell into the separated Bia.
Thus, because of the ascent of the point into being a thought, each degree was split into 2 halves. For the upper half, Keter Chochmah, remained in the degree, and Bina and Zeranpin and Nukva of each degree were lost from it and descended to the degree below it. And this is the meaning of the division of the name Elokim to the letters Mi and Ele. It is so because a complete degree in 10 Sfirot Kachab Zon is called by the holy name Elokim, in which there are 5 letters corresponding to the 5 Sfirot Kachab Zon. Ele are Kachab, and Yod Mem are Zon. Now that each degree was divided into 2, where Keter Chochmah remained, and Bina and Zon fell from her, it follows that only the 2 letters Mi remained in each degree, and the 3 letters Ele fell from each degree to the degree below it. However, accordingly, the 2 letters Aleph Lamed should have remained in the degree, and the Hey Yod Mem should have fallen into the degree below it. The thing is that there is always an inverse relation between vessels and lights. In vessels, the upper ones come first. First comes the vessel of Keter, then the vessel of Chochmah, all the way through to the Kli, the vessel of Malchut. It is the opposite in the lights. In them, the lower ones come first. First comes the light of Malchut, then the light of Zeranpin, then the light of Bina, through to the light of Keter. Thus, if there are 2 vessels, Keter Chochmah, there are also 2 lights, light of Malchut and light of Zeranpin in them, which are called Vak. For this reason, we discern that only the 2 letters Mi remained in the degree, the light of Malchut and the light of Zeranpin of the name Elokim. But the 3 letters Ele fell from them. Hence, each degree became devoid of the Gar in her. It was said, in it, he formed all the images and carved all the engravings. This implies to the division of each degree into 2 halves through the ascent of the point into being a thought. In it, he formed all the images. Refers to the 2 letters Mi that remain in the whole of the degree, forming the images of Adni. Carved all the engravings. Refers to the 3 letters Ele, which fell from each degree and became deficient of them. For because of their absence, only the light of Malchut and the light of Zeranpin remained in the degree. And the 3 lights Kachab are missing in them, since there is no light without a vessel. Thus, if they were to obtain the vessels of Bina and Zon once more, they would immediately obtain Gar of lights as well, for they are interdependent. 14. He engraved within the holy hidden candle, refers to the Malchut that was included in Bina, a carving of a single hidden image, the Holy of Holies, which is a deep structure, that comes out of the thought, gar, and it's called me, the beginning of the structure. It stands and it does not stand, deep and hidden in the name Elokim. Also, it is called Mi the Elokim, meaning that the letters Ele are lacking from the name Elokim. He wished to be revealed and be called by the name Elokim. He clothed in the luminous garment of honor, the light of Chasadim, and created these, Ele. And the letters Ele rose in the name Elokim, meaning that the letters conjoined with each other, the letters Mi with the letters Ele, and the name Elokim was completed. As long as it did not create Ele, it did not merit the name Elokim. And those who sinned with the kaf about it, these, Ele, are your gods, O Israel. Explanation. Through the ascent of Man from the lower ones, a new light was extended from Ab Sag of Ak. Since this light from Ab Sag of Ak, above the second restriction, breaks each degree into two. Hence, when this light extends to the Rosh of Arich Anpin, it lowers the point from the thought one more, from the place of Bina back to her place, the place of Malchut, of the Rosh, as it was prior to the restriction, the second restriction. And the three Sfirot, Bina, Zer Anpin, and Malchut, that fell from the Rosh, returned to being Rosh because the Zivug was done in the place of the Malchut below them. This is considered that the name Elokim was revealed once more, since the three letters Ele joined the Mi at the same degree once more. And the name Elokim was completed in the degree. And since Bina and Zon of vessels returned, the Gar of lights returned as well.
והתלבשו כחב זון דאורות בחמש אותיות של שם אלוקים. אורות כחב באלה.
Kachab zone of lights, clothed in the 5 letters of the name Elokim. The lights of Kachab in Ele, the lights of Zon in Yod Mem. And remember this well, that the fallen Ele are regarded as the vessels of Bina and Zon, that are missing in the degree. However, when Ele unite in the name Elokim, they become the lights of Kachab, due to the inverse relation between lights and vessels. It was said, engraved within the holy hidden candle, referring to the Malchut that was included in Bina, meaning that a masach, screen, and a place of zivug was carved anew in Malchut of Rosh, of Arich Anpin, which is called the hidden holy candle. This is an engraving of a hidden image, a holy of holies. This new carving extends an image, a level of 10 Sfirot, the Holy of Holies, the level of Gar, which is called the Holy of Holies. And because it comes out of a thought, since the point that rose to being a thought has now come out of a thought and arrived at its real place, the place of Malchut of Rosh, The three vessels, Bina, Zeir Anpin, and Nukva, Ele, have now returned to the degree of Rosh, and the name Elokim was completed. He calls this level of Gar by the name a hidden image. It is said that it is called Mi, the beginning of the structure. For although Ele have already conjoined with Mi and the name Elokim was made, it is still only called Mi, and it is the beginning of the structure. It is the beginning of the structure of the name Elokim, because the structure is still incomplete.
מצד אחד, כבר עומד הבניין בכל השלמות. שהרי מקום הזיווג,
On the one hand, the building stands in wholeness, since the place of Zivug returned to its place in Peh of Rosh, and Bina and Zon returned to the degree, and also Gar of lights, and the name Elokim was completed.
לא עומד עוד בניין השם.
But on the other hand, the structure of the name is still not standing, because it is deep and hidden in the name Elokim. Since the lights of the name Elokim are still deep and hidden, and do not shine in Ele, which are Bina and Zon, who rose to the place of the Rosh. This is so because, due to their ascent to Rosh of Arichanpin, where only Chochmah shines, there is only lights of Chochmah at this level. And since they are Zat, and Zat that rose cannot receive the Chochmah without clothing inside of Chasadim, and Chasadim have no name, they too cannot receive the Chochmah. Therefore, it is considered that the name is deep and hidden, and is still not spreading in the three letters Ele. For this reason, the structure of this level is still regarded as not standing. And Ele are still not revealed in her. This is why it was said that before that it is only called Mi, since the letters Ele are still hidden in the name Elokim, and there is only Mi there. It was said he wished to be revealed and be called by the name Elokim, since the name has already been completed, and because Ele have already risen to the Rosh, for which they do not shine at all. For this reason, he wished to be revealed and to be called by the name Elokim. He clothed in the luminous garment of honor, the light of Chasadim, and created Ele. Interpretation, since the whole concealment of the name, that it cannot shine in Ele, is due to the lack of clothing of Chasadim, because Zat cannot receive the light of Chochmah without Chasadim. He made the zivug of Katnut once more, as while it was clothed in the goof of Arichanpin, extending the level of Chasadim, the level of Chochmah clothed in the light of Chasadim that she extended, and that light became a luminous garment, a luminous garment of honor for that level. Through that clothing of Chasadim, it can illuminate the light of Chochmah in Zat, which are Ele. He created Ele, and they rose in the name Elokim. In other words, through the garment of honor, the level of chasadim that he received from the zivug of the guf below the chazeh, which is called bria, he created these, meaning imparted the light upon Ele. By that, the letters Ele rose in the name Elokim. This is so because since they already have a garment of honor from Chasadim, they can receive Chokhmah in it. Then, Ele appeared in the name Elokim. This is because now Bina and Zon shine in it in all the wholeness that is in them. It is considered that now the name Elokim was disclosed and revealed, and it was said that the letters conjoined with each other, Mi in Ele, and the name Elokim was completed. Since now Ele received the level of Chokhmah because they have obtained the clothing of Chasadim, and all 5 letters Elokim illuminate in full. It was said, as long as he did not create Ele, it did not merit the name Elokim. This is so because before Mi gave them the light of Chasadim for clothing, Ele could not receive anything from Mi. And Elokim illuminated only in Mi. And it was said, and those who sinned with the calf said about it, these Ele are your gods, O Israel, since they blemished the luminous garment of honor. For this reason, the Mi was separated from Ele, which is why they said, these are your gods, and the abundance went out to other gods.
15. And as Mi conjoined with Ele and became the name Elokim, through the luminous garment of honor, the light of Chasadim, the name always bonds through the luminous garment of honor. It is on that that the world exists. As it is written, a world of chesed shall be built. Elijah fled, and I did not see him, but I knew the matter from him, for I perceived his secret and concealment. Rabbi Elazar and all the friends came and bowed before him. They wept and said, if we came to the world only to hear that, we would be content. Interpretation. In the same way that it is explained that he did not merit the name Elokim before the level of Chokhmah, clothed in the luminous garment of honor, and Mi conjoined with Ele and became the name Elokim. The name always bonds and exists forever, and does not merit the name Elokim without the luminous garment of honor. And by that, the world exists. The lower world, too, Nukva, Ma, receives the Mochin in this manner of associating Mi with Ele, and is completed like the upper world. As Rabbi Shimon gradually explains, this contradicts Rabbi Elazar, who said about the lower world, when Ma arrived there, what did you know? when, after all, it is as concealed as before. It follows that, according to his words, the lower world does not exist like the upper world. And it is said that by that the world exists in the same manner as the upper world. For this reason, Rabbi Shimon seized his words above. But Elijah interpreted only the order of the Mochin and the construction of the name Elokim in Abba Ve'ima. He did not explain how the order of the structure of Elokim is in the Nukva.